Hey everybody, welcome back to Two Kings. Today we're going to take a special look at all the E3 coverage that's been happening. The press conferences are all done, right? All the news is out there, and we wanted to get together and talk about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? I know, Rick, you didn't really...
I missed some.
You missed some of them.
I missed some of the press conferences, and I watched bits and pieces of some, so I got some chunks. Like, I missed the whole Cyberpunk.
Mm-hmm. You missed the Cyberpunk stuff?
And Keanu Reeves' entrance.
Oh, no.
But I rewatched it.
Yeah.
And saw it. But
so
I had missed that live.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I hadn't.
I was pretty hyped about that one, man. I reserved a couple of days off of work just so I could see this stuff. Unfortunately, Sunday, which was like Microsoft, Bethesda, all that stuff was happening, so I was still working because technically E3 is supposed to happen Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
And it was just weird how the press conferences didn't necessarily overlap with those 3 days. So I did have to go back and watch like Bethesda for sure. But overall, man, I mean, what did you think? What were you most excited about?
I think Xbox had a lot of good shit.
Right? I honestly, man, I think
Xbox probably took that cake.
Yeah, I think out of everything, Xbox was my favorite press conference.
But then it's because Sony's not there, right?
True.
Do you think had Sony been there, it would have been more of a...
I think it would have been more exciting because I think like last year, as good as the Xbox press conference was, I was leaning more to Sony, but I think overall Bethesda still took it though, man. Bethesda it was fantastic last year.
Yeah, last year, fuck yeah.
Yeah, it was real good. But this year, Microsoft, man, they kind of hit it out of the park. We can go down the list here. In order that they happened. Let me go over to my list here. So we start off with the Microsoft. Well, technically, okay. Here's the thing. The Stadia reveal happened a couple of days before.
Yeah.
Right? And this is on purpose, right? E3 is going to be happening.
Yeah.
So Stadia reveals their stuff. If you guys aren't aware, Stadia, they're doing... This is the big thing this year, is the on the cloud video game streaming, right? No more need for a box under your television to play these games.
Right. What was the console that came out?
Oh, On Live.
Was it?
On Live, yeah.
On Live.
And I remember we were so excited when we got beta access to On Live back in the day.
That shit was awesome.
It was
the potential.
Clearly,
was awesome.
Clearly before its time.
Yeah.
I think On Live. I mean, had they held on another decade, I mean, it could have been something.
That's basically what this is, right? Yeah. Everyone's doing it now. Everyone's doing On Live, right?
Yeah.
So all the shit, you just stream it off the cloud. You don't have to have the fucking expensive console or expensive PC. You just need your little shitty thing, and it's going to stream it at fucking 1080p, 60 frames per second and shit.
Yeah, it's like everything's moving to services now.
Damn.
Like, that's the thing, is like Xbox is trying to get Xbox like Game Pass or Xbox Live in general, like on other consoles, on other systems. Like, they want to be like a legit, like a Netflix. They want to be like the Netflix of video games on other boxes even and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So obviously there's a lot of skepticism, surrounding this because, I mean, does this work? I mean, everyone's like, well, internet is shitty in the States to begin with. Like, how is this actually going to work? But according to Stadia, you only need at least 10 megabytes download to be able to play in 1080p HD. 60 frames a second, I think they said. Yeah. I mean... Only 10. And if you're doing 30 or more, which we have, you get fucking 8K. Or they said 4K for sure. I don't know if they said 8K HDR. Like, in other words, the potential for something like this of, like, you don't need to buy an expensive box to have this look that good. You know what I mean?
And it's like what? Subscription based, right?
Yes.
So they sell you the controller and the subscription.
Yeah, so they had a package, right? On Live.
Nice.
Stadia says, hey,
bring it back.
The standard service by itself, $10 a month. But they do have this bundle that comes with like this exclusive colored controller. the Chromecast Ultra, the full Destiny package with all expansions, and you get to reserve your Stadia name. All of that for $130. Now that's like premium. Like, hey, I'm all in. I want a badass experience. I want to play this on my TV. You know, like HDR, everything. I want to give me everything. Right? That's a $130 package. I think for what they're offering, for what you're getting, I consider it a good deal.
$130 for.
Look.
They're okay. So what's their library like?
That's the thing, right? I don't know if they've released a library per se. They've announced like all the publishers, right? They're gonna have a lot of big names. Like all the big names are on there.
Okay.
I think even they sat Phil Harrison down. He was the one kind of heading up that stuff, and they were asking him about, well, what about, spoiler for later on anyway. Let's say like something like Ubisoft Plus or Xbox Live Game Pass. Like those are additions. Like those are happening now. How are those going to work with yours? And he was like, well, presumably you would add them on to what you already have. So they're probably already talking to like Microsoft and Sony and all them about saying, hey, yeah, the Stadia stuff, $10 a month. But if you want PlayStation Now stuff, or if you want Xbox Game Pass stuff, another 100 games, or you want Ubisoft Plus library, this is what they're charging. So then you add that on. So there's potential for like adding on to your library now.
So like the way Hulu does HBO stuff.
Exactly like that. Except I don't know. They haven't announced pricing for that stuff.
Does that feel scummy?
No, I don't think so. No? I think if you're a fan of like Ubisoft stuff, like for you, $10 a month to own every Ubisoft game and all the new ones coming out. Okay, I'm saying Ubisoft as an example, but what if it's I don't know. I can't think of any other publisher that you're like really into. You're not into EA, and they're doing their own.
Capcom. I don't
know about Capcom nowadays. Dude, they don't got anything now.
You give me Capcom's fucking library on
like entire library.
Yeah, their entire library. If I can play Street Fighter 2 Turbo, and I can play fucking Dead Rising, and I can play fucking any of the Mega Mans and shit like that, that'd be. That.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
but subscription based with that, probably not,
man. They have collections, right? I own the Mega Mans, I own the Castlevanias collection, so it's like, what would get me to do a Capcom subscription? Like probably, I don't know. They'd have to have a new slew of like awesome games to look forward to, and right now,
it's really hard for me to see myself getting off my PC.
Yeah. Presumably. Xbox would, Game Pass will be coming to that too.
That is what I like too.
Stadia will be on your PC as well.
For the kids, right? They have Xbox Game Pass, and now that transfers over to PC, so I can just piggyback on that shit, right?
Yeah, essentially. I think a feature that I also found pretty interesting, they kind of teased at the end of the Stadia event, was they were showing like some, was it Ghost Recon? I think it was Ghost Recon. And they were showing you, I guess, the players you were playing with, like their profile, like their view, right? And they had it there, like all three other windows. So the fact that they can do neat stuff like that, like render 100% what your guys are viewing, and you can see that on screen while you're also playing. And I thought that was interesting because, consoles can't do that right now because, streaming right now it's the new frontier, right? Like the limits right now are dependent on whatever they're able to come out with.
And VR.
And, VR, it's come and it's kind of gone, but I think it's,
Well, spoiler.
This doesn't matter.
So in the Xbox conference, they talked about the new Xbox.
Yes. Do
you think that's going to come VR ready?
Yeah, for sure.
Right? You think it'll come with a bundle?
They don't have a VR library though. PlayStation does.
PlayStation does.
But
but they're talking about, what was it? The whole they used the word immersive like 3 times, I think, in that whole fucking like speech, and that to me says VR.
Yeah.
When you immerse yourself in something, that's VR. So maybe they use something with the Kinect and VR to fucking come up with some new shit that might be cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Kinect is dead. If anything, they would use the HoloLens that Microsoft stuff has been doing or whatever. But I mean, yeah, I bet it's possible. They would just definitely have to invest in it.
I mean, they said that this thing was going to be fucking how much stronger? They said like a number. Was it 4 or 10 times stronger?
I forget, man. The Scarlet you're talking about?
Yes.
Project Scarlet. I don't remember, to be honest, but I mean, they're saying they're aiming to be the most powerful console.
Yeah, they're
going for it.
That phallus was really fucking, bro. They're like, oh, fucking new system.
I mean, yeah, they're working on it. So going back, so Stadia happened. They announced, hey, game streaming. I guess at this point we're thinking like, okay, we know consoles are maybe going that way, but as we'll come to learn, a lot of them are definitely working on that stuff. So we can go down the list here. It started with the Stadia stuff. The EA stuff happened. I didn't even write anything down, dude. I was not excited about anything from EA.
What they show? Did they show?
I mean, it was like Battlefield.
Wasn't it the Lego mixed with
Forza?
Forza, right?
That was Microsoft. That wasn't even EA.
Oh.
Yeah. So I didn't write down for anything EA's play, press conference, whatever. It was terrible. So we're moving on. Microsoft came on board. I think the first notable thing I wrote down here was Ninja Theory is working on a game called Bleeding Edge. Ninja Theory, if you aren't aware, they've done a ton of games. They did Heavenly Sword, Enslaved. They did the Devil May Cry kind of reboot. And then most recently, the Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice. And now they're working on a 3-player... Actually, so last year they got bought out by Microsoft. So now they're a Microsoft studio. So I guess with Microsoft money, they're like... The first thing they're coming out with, which I'm kind of worried about, is they're doing like a 3-on-3 kind of hero multiplayer game.
That's right, I remember that.
Yeah, you saw that? And so I'm worried because Ninja Theory's like real good about doing single-player story stuff. And now they just have them cranking out this, multiplayer 3-on-3 arena hero-based game, whatever the fuck it's going to be. So that kind of worries me. I'm like, oh no, like Ninja Theory, like maybe this is like a B team working on this, but I really hope that studio is actually working on something much more important because I saw this thing and sure it was all stylish, it was reminiscent of like Overwatch and stuff, but to me that was scary. I was like, oh no, what are y'all doing? What's happening there? So I don't know. I mean, maybe it'll be a fun game. Maybe I'm just, I just feel like in a sea of like multiplayer hero-based games that they can easily get lost in the shuffle. Yeah. So that was definitely my fear of seeing that. Actually, have you seen the trailer? Do you remember or no?
Vaguely.
Okay. Anyway, well, I mean, I have it there if you want to see it, but if not, we can move on to the next one. Yeah. So the other thing that I thought was kind of neat actually was Minecraft Dungeons.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
Right?
It's Minecraft Diablo, right?
Yeah, it's kind of top down.
It's a dungeon crawler with friends, and you're going around looting shit and like Minecrafting it up, right?
I think that thing's just going to be by actual Mojang too. It's not like it's some kind of third-party studio like Mojang did this. I mean, they did Minecraft. Now as far as I know, they haven't really done anything else, but now they're doing Minecraft Dungeons, which I think looks cool. I think also has a potential to just print money for them because it's like, why not? It's 4-player co-op. All these kids are gonna go nuts with it and stuff. But I like the look of it. Yeah, they could have mined it. I probably missed out on that pun. Damn. So another thing they showed, actually this was at the EA thing also. They showed Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Okay, so I caught the tail end of that. Do you have the clip here?
Yeah. I got the clip here so you can check it out. We'll both check it out if you want. It's a at least from what Titanfall, like from going from Titanfall to this, I was pretty excited because they are now focusing on a single player, and this is canon. This story is going to be canon for Fallen Order.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like
so this is fucking, and this is that Shameless kid, right?
The what?
Shameless kid?
Yeah, this kid from Shameless. He, obviously modeled after himself.
I forget the actor's name. I'm sorry. You think this gets tied in with the TV show that they're gonna do?
I don't know. Maybe it'll lead into it. I didn't think about that
because, I can see them hiring this kid to continue playing this role, especially if he's gonna be in fucking
right. Like they could do like actual live action. That's actually not a bad idea.
And this is single player only. No multiplayer?
Yes. Yeah. As far as I know, no multiplayer. It's gonna focus on story. I don't know if they release any kind of DLC information or anything like that, but yeah, it's supposed to be a single player only campaign that they're doing or whatever. So
That's
that seems
cool.
interesting.
I've been wanting a good single player fucking Star Wars game for a while. I mean, Battlefront 2 is fucking great, but another Shadow of the Empire. Please.
Just remake Shadows of the Empire. Just get remastered version.
Empire, man.
You should want fucking what's
Dash
his name?
Rendar,
Dash Rendar,
man.
Get him back.
With Chewbacca. That was fucking great, dude.
Yeah. So it's this point in the press conference when they start showing Cyberpunk.
Man, so this is where I had to saw the beginning of this and then had to leave and then came back and then I heard about the whole Keanu thing when I checked my phone and I was like, fucking shit, I missed it. But I got it.
That was a pretty cool reveal, or just having him in it. Like I was like, what? Like just on the tail end of this like John Wick hype. Like the internet, he's like the internet's darling right now.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden you have him coming out in Cyberpunk. He's there in person. And he's just being silly as shit or whatever.
I mean, that game's gonna sell.
It's gonna do good, man.
That game's gonna sell.
Yeah, like honestly, it's
PR
gonna be.
team fucking nailed it.
For me, it's probably gonna be a day one purchase, man. Maybe we'll do a playthrough.
Ooh.
Would you like to do a playthrough?
I do a playthrough.
I mean, it's gonna have choice and consequences and all that, right? So.
Only if we dress up as our favorite Keanu characters from the movie.
The first episode.
Whatever movie you care, whatever movie, we'll dress up as our favorite Keanu. I'm down for that.
Okay. I'll think about that.
I'm doing it.
Okay. Wait, who are you gonna be? You already know who you're gonna be?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, because I know who I want to be. I just don't know if we're gonna do the same one.
I'm assuming you're gonna be Neo.
No. Be John Wick.
Oh. I'm gonna be Bill.
Oh damn! Wait, no, the other one's Bill. Isn't he Ted?
Esquire.
I don't remember. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
So the other game that actually kind of caught my eye during this press conference was this cool little game called Spiritfarer, I believe it was called. It was a really cool, charming little looking game. I really appreciated like the 2D art style to it. I love the animation to it as well. I mean, it looked really, really cool, and I feel like this is one of those like small little games that I'm gonna want to like end up like checking out.
Let's see. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, the art style is fucking awesome. Whimsical music form. It's a pretty good description of the.
Huh?
Oh.
Yeah.
No.
The feels, bro. The feels.
That looks really cool.
Yeah, right. I really like the look of it, man, and just the kind of overall feel. I was like, dude, this looks pretty cool. Something important to know too. That's going to be, what was that?
PlayStation exclusive?
Well, no, it's not a PlayStation exclusive. It's going to come on both PlayStation and Xbox. But it was going to be like day one Game Pass.
Oh, okay.
So and they would have that before a lot of stuff they were showing. So I was like, dude, I mean, they're really pushing hard on the Game Pass stuff, and it's hard not to see the value in something like that. You know, the fact that you're gonna be able to play games like that just day one. You don't even have to. You're already paying for Game Pass. You have access to all these games. I mean, I don't have to tell you, but the fact that something like that day one available on Game Pass, I was like, dude, like this is just this is awesome. Like everybody will be able to play this if they're paying Game Pass. It's a good sell, man. Why wouldn't you get it?
Dude, I mean, and now you can. They announced that it's going to sync up with the PC too now, right?
Yeah. So right after this, funny you mentioned, the next thing on the list was the Game Pass Ultimate that they announced, and Game Pass Ultimate is basically giving you access to Xbox Game Pass on console. It's giving you access to Xbox Live Gold and Xbox Game Pass for PC. So they're going to start supporting the PC and
how
what's
much
available
is all
on
that?
there. Everything for $15 a month. Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty good, man.
So
it's pretty good.
$15 includes Xbox Live Gold.
Yes. Xbox Live Gold, Xbox Game Pass, and PC.
Okay. So Xbox Live Gold, here in the U.S. is normally $10 a month.
$10 a month.
So for $5 more, you get Game Pass on the fucking PC and on the Xbox.
Yeah, and you get live with that basically. It's a pretty good deal, right?
Pretty good deal, man.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to say no to something like that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you pay basically the same for Netflix.
Man, that's really good.
Yeah, it's hard. I'm telling you, man, they're doing good. Xbox knocked it out of the park, man. The next thing they showed that I thought was interesting of note was Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Me and Rick are like hardcore RTS fans.
Here.
I mean, yeah. We love
People might not get excited about this.
We love the Age of Empires stuff. It was just fantastic. We grew up with it. It's a treasure.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're remaking it, I think even more so. We're gonna definitely be playing that probably.
I just fucking love history, man.
Yeah.
I'm a big history buff.
I think the stuff they're doing with like the way it looks clean. It looks.
Dude,
it's
like
almost
old
like
school, still fucking Age of Empires, but it looks clean and fucking crisp now.
And it's like it's almost like, oh, I remember it like that in my head. You know what I mean? And I think that's what's important is when you remaster a game, for people to think like, oh, that's the way I remember it in their heads.
Like
you know,
nothing's changed.
Yeah.
It looks just as good as it did then.
Yeah.
And then you look at the old one and it's like, God, that fucking looks like shit. I mean, the way that shit crumbled?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Oh, I better sign up. I forgot. I gotta sign up to play the beta.
For real.
Next on the list is a pretty cool little game. I don't know if you got to see the one for 12 minutes. 12 minutes is basically...
I did.
You did? Okay, cool.
Did.
So that's like the kind of Groundhog Day.
Yes.
Like you're basically playing in 12-minute intervals. I guess to try to figure out who your wife murdered or something like that.
It's like a puzzle game or something, right?
Yeah. And it's like this recurring like 12 minutes.
I love that it's just in this little room.
Yeah.
Right? Or like all the areas are just kind of like these
probably spans this one
rooms.
Little apartment or whatever. It's just like it's very one of those like hey, the drama's happening in this one room. Like it's almost like a whodunit, right? Or whatever. It's just the 12 minutes and like just wondering at least how far the choices are gonna go, or how different every playthrough can be. Like I'm so interested in this one. Actually, it looks pretty cool.
It reminded me of Indigo Prophecy in the beginning, where it's like a murder happens or something, and it's kind of throwing you into now you got to figure it out.
Yeah. But I mean, this game looks good, man.
It does, dude.
I mean, even the animation here and everything. Like, I like the way it looks.
Very intriguing.
Yeah, for sure. 12 minutes. Looks interesting. I only needed 1 minute to know I wanted to play it.
God damn it, you make me sick, you fuck.
Yeah. Gears 5. Gears 5 stuff happened. They showed more of that, but honestly, like, I hadn't even finished Gears 4.
You know what, man? Same. I was excited when it first came out. When I saw it, I was like, I was like, Gears 5. And then, the music went on. And then, which was a horrible fucking music choice for that trailer.
Yeah.
And
Not the first one to say that.
And then they got fucking, they Call of Duty'd it.
Yeah.
It's all loot boxes and fucking skins and particle effects and cosmetics.
But Terminator.
And Terminator.
Yeah.
And I was like, when I was getting excited because they were showing the story stuff, and then it went off, and it's like, we're gonna have all this fucking explosions and fucking Mountain Dew by our fucking shit. It's like, I don't know if it's not the Gears I like, man.
Yeah.
So
I feel you, man. I feel like I need to play 4.
With that.
I feel like I need to play 4 to know how I'm going to feel about this one a little bit, because obviously 4 had a different team, different vibe.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing this one, and I'm like, I don't even know what happened in the last one.
Yeah. I definitely.
So I mean, maybe that's on us for not having played the one before,
man.
but
I don't know, because I fucking loved Gears of War 1.
Yeah.
And I even went out. I read fucking Asphalt Fields.
That's right.
I was so hard into that fucking game, dude.
Yeah.
And then part 2 came out. And part 2 was okay. Kind of the multiplayer. They gimped that shotgun so hard.
Yeah.
And they made it sort of not fun a bit. It changed, and then I was like, all right, it's still all right. And then 3 came out, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And then 4, and now 5. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Gears for me has been taking a dip. Like I said, those first fucking Gears games, man, they really had me. And
I think 1, 2, and 3 were pretty solid, man. But Judgment came out, and it was like, yeah.
I think Cliffy B had a really big influence on the quality of those games, man.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, maybe it was, making sure it was getting done at the time. Next we have Tales of Arise.
Fuck, man.
Didn't that look good?
So fucking good. And I'm like, God, I need to play more fucking Tales games.
Yeah, dude. Especially JRPGs like this, they look so epic. They look so good.
Fucking good, man.
They look so good, man.
I need to play Ni no Kuni.
Yes.
I need to play so many fucking games.
Hey, man. We will, bro.
Yeah. Ready to fuck that fucking Kingdom Hearts,
we'll make it happen, bro. Play some Kingdom Hearts first. We'll get there, man. Okay.
Next, man.
So next, they showed off Elden Ring, which
yes.
I guess it had leaked a little bit before. I hadn't seen it.
They had announced it a couple of days prior, and now they're showing fucking some footage and shit.
Yeah.
Dude.
This is Miyazaki, who does Bloodborne, did the Dark Souls series, getting together with George R.R. Martin of Game of Thrones fame to make this Norse-themed
Dark Souls style
game. Yeah, like holy crap,
shit!
Like that sounds amazing.
That sounds fucking
great.
Awesome.
Like I've been to I feel like the information to play a Souls game has been so fucking dense that it keeps me out of it. I just feel like it's almost like Dota, where you have to commit to really understand or to play, and I just feel like it's so hard to get into because I know there's so much that it doesn't tell you that you just figure out by dying, and I'm just scared that I'm gonna get pissed off at that game and fucking. You know what I mean?
Not for you, sir.
Yeah, no.
That game is not for you.
I watched a playthrough one time. Literally invested like an hour, and then to watch that one dragon just with the fire on the bridge just kill someone, I was like, nah, dude, fuck this. I can't. Like, maybe I'll be less invested watching someone else play, but I can't do it for myself. I'd be so pissed.
I know you can't. I know.
I'd be pissed.
I know you cannot do that game.
But this one sounds cool though.
I can though.
This sounds cool though. You know what? Yeah, play. We're just gonna fucking do playthroughs for everything. Let's hope, man. Let's hope we get around to all of these, dude. Because a lot of these dates were, you know, obviously some were holiday this year. A lot of them were hidden for like March of next year. A lot of them, dude. Yeah, and that worries me. I'm like, dude, like I'm just not gonna have time to play all of that, you know. All right. Next thing. Well, we already kind of got into it a little bit, but Xbox announced their streaming stuff, the Project X Cloud. I think they had it available there for people at the show to kind of try out xCloud. So they were talking about how everyone's console will be like the streaming, like a dedicated streaming server, and the cloud stuff, like the game streaming, is. I mean, however they're going to end up working it out. They didn't really give much info, but what they did say was that your console will act as your own dedicated streaming server or whatever. So I guess in a way that's going to help, like, probably reduce latency and lag and whatever. But they had it playable on the show floor, like that technology, and a lot of people were coming out of it positively. So that sounded cool. Like, they were saying that, like, when you're going to reload, like in Gears, you know, you have to hit in that certain thing, that they did it. And it worked perfectly the first time. So, like, that, I think, bodes well. Because that's everyone's fear, right? Is, like, the input lag and stuff like that.
Active reload
was on point, man. So, that, I think, bodes well for the future. Especially in, you know, the future for Xbox. Because now they got, right after that, they go into Scarlet. Project Scarlet is going to be their next console. Releasing holiday 2020 of next year. We're like a year and a half away from a new Xbox console.
New fucking console.
So you already know, next E3, they're going to drop all the details, man.
The specs and everything.
Yeah, about what that thing's going to be, what it's going to be capable of, what it's going to do. I know. I get excited thinking about it.
I'm predicting VR, man. I'm predicting a bundle VR.
They probably could. If they really wanted to, I think they could. Especially if it's going to have the power they say it's going to have. I mean, obviously, if the PS4 now does VR, imagine a very powerful Xbox in a year and a half from now. Like, I can see that happening. And the last thing of note, I think that they showed their conference was Halo Infinite. How'd you feel about this one?
Let's watch.
Did you get to see it?
I did,
okay.
But
okay.
I don't really remember, so it's not looking good for Halo Infinite.
Well, it was I mean, yeah, it's the long demo with this guy, I guess, stuck on the ship and everything.
And then Master Chief comes in and he's like, "Oh, Chief, man."
Yeah.
He's like, you know, the power. And then Master Chief's like, "We're gonna fucking take Halo back."
Was that supposed to be significant? I don't. The Halo being broken. I was like, what does that mean?
Well, I mean, it's like, I didn't play the last Halo.
You know what? That's probably our fault too. I didn't play the last one. I passed all of 4. I didn't play 5. I think I started it, but I don't know, man. I fell off Halo a little bit.
You know what I did play?
What?
Was the bootleg Halo Online.
On PC?
That shit was fun, dude.
Yeah,
that shit was great.
Well, then they shut it down, didn't they?
They fucking did, but they kept uploading it and everything.
Yeah. That's terrible.
That was fun.
Yeah.
So if this is anything like that, that'd be great.
I think the important thing to note in this trailer, though, was that in the beginning it shows like rendered an in-game engine. So this is playing on the Scarlet, right? Because the Scarlet is supposed to launch with fucking Halo.
Correct.
So this is supposed to be all in engine. So I thought this was pretty impressive because it does look like it's a CG movie, but it's all rendering in the fucking game. So this is not a pre-rendered CG little movie. It's in-game, graphics or whatever. Yeah. So I thought that was pretty impressive. It also looks like it runs smoothly. So
who films themselves and is like, tell your daddy you love them, but let the camera look at me.
Yeah.
Tell him you love him.
Maybe at some point
You love
she
daddy.
showed the baby.
Nope.
And he cut it out before.
No.
Because it's too much to deal with. No?
No, that's not what they showed me. That's not what I saw.
Okay. But yeah, man. I don't know. It looked interesting.
I mean, didn't he show any gameplay, right?
No gameplay. It's all technically. I guess that's considered gameplay because it's in-game engine, but they're not showing actual gameplay.
Oh yeah, like they're not showing the HUD or anything.
Yeah, they're just showing a story thing that's happening or whatever.
Right.
And that concludes the Microsoft press conference, man. I think that was the best one of the show. We'll probably run through the other press conferences here pretty quickly. Because I had a couple of standouts. So Bethesda was next, right? Bethesda got out there, kind of did their apology video in a way for Fallout 76. You know, thanking people for continuing to be there and stuff. You could tell.
We fucked up so bad.
They're doing that montage. They're like, you keep us in check. I was like, dude, y'all just fuck.
That felt like, please love us.
Yeah.
Please.
It kind of did.
Look, we have diversity
in
our
people.
program.
I know.
Look at us.
I know. I felt bad.
Love us. We're sorry.
But I feel like they kind of made good on it, right? Like a little bit. I mean, after watching what they were saying, like, hey,
they were even like, everything we're gonna show, fucking
it's
free. We know you guys love free shit.
Love us.
Everything we're showing is free.
Yeah.
And it comes up today.
Yeah. I think
tomorrow.
Now that they're doing their year 2 stuff, which they did, player NPCs, right? Because that was a big complaint about 76. They're doing a battle royale mode.
So how do player NPCs work?
Well, the quest givers. There was no quest givers before, because So this is one of the complaints because they're okay. So I get it, right? They were trying something new for the first time. Like they've never done a multiplayer fucking Fallout before. But I don't know if that's how they tried to justify. Like, hey, you're technically the first ones coming out of the vault. So there's no one out in the fucking wasteland. There's no people out in the wasteland. Okay. The only people out in the wasteland are other players. So if you see a human person, that is an actual real person. Anything else you see, monsters, bugs, whatever, ghouls, those are obviously, not real people. But there was no quest givers and stuff like that. So a lot of people complained that it felt barren. That was one of the reasons. I mean, aside from bugs and other shit, just economy stuff, I think, or whatever, that were plaguing Fallout 76. So that was one of the big things. They're like, hey, we got NPCs now.
You fixed it.
Yeah, it's year 2. People have now settled. Like, come back. Yeah, and I was like, okay, well. The fact that they were offering, like, the game, they put it out on discount, man. Dude, like, Amazon tweeted right away, hey,
$15
it's like, like $17 for Fallout on disc or whatever. I bought the PS4 one. I was like, fuck, I'm getting in. Because they're doing that battle royale mode. They're doing like story stuff.
Battle royale in
Fallout. 76. I think it was like 56 players.
I like that it looked like they have more of environmental hazards than other battle royale games.
Yeah. It kind of like Hunt Showdown. That's kind of what that reminded me of.
Yeah. Right? Where it's like the environment itself is also playing against you.
Yeah.
So it's like not only do you have to worry about other players, but you got kind of like a H1Z1, right? Where it's like you had to worry about the zombies too.
Yes.
And the other players.
I think they took out the zombies
eventually.
They did. Which I think was a mistake. I think that was a mistake.
Everyone loves this game because of the zombies, and they're like, let's take them out.
Yeah, it was like, Battle Royale's a thing. What's the Battle Royale? We're going to change our name too. Bad, yeah, for real. So that got me. I was in, man. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. $17 for Fallout 76. They're gonna have Battle Royale. They're doing all this free stuff. I wanted to check it out.
The Battle Royale stuff is coming out free, right?
Yeah.
Like that's free edition.
Yeah.
Because they're like, we're so fucking sorry. We're so fucking sorry. Here's this free new mode.
Yeah, new mode, new quest lines, like new guns, right? They were touting all this stuff that they're adding to the game. And to me, that like feels like they made good. Aside from the changes they've been doing all year,
they look like they were really genuinely fucking sorry,
yeah,
dude.
They
look like they felt fucking bad.
I was like,
all right.
I had a coupon, so technically Fallout was $12 for me. So I was like, all right, I'll give you guys $12.
Support.
So did you get to see Ghostwire Tokyo?
No.
All right, so let's go and start that up. That is made by Shinji Mikami, who did Resident Evil, who had a studio who did Evil Within. They were with Capcom prior, right? They were bought out by Bethesda now. And so this is kind of, I guess they haven't really said, I don't remember. There's probably articles out there, but I think they're trying to say it's not going to be survival horror, but it definitely has horror elements in it. So I'm not sure if it's like action, horror or what, but it's definitely
a Ghost Recon game.
I don't know about Ghost Recon.
Isn't this Ghost Recon? You said?
No. This is what's called Ghostwire Tokyo.
I was like Ghost Recon.
Ghost Recon with
fucking
actual
horror.
ghosts.
I was like, what the fuck?
No.
Okay, this is completely different.
Yeah, this is
soldiers.
This is guy who made Resident Evil.
I heard that
is now
part,
making this game.
I was like, wait,
it's a guy who made Resident Evil is doing
working on a fucking Ghost Recon game, horror, action. Okay, this does look horror.
Yeah, right. So there's definitely gonna be horror elements.
So he's saying not survival horror,
I
but
think
more action horror.
I think that's what people were saying. Not because Evil Within was pretty actiony, right?
Yeah, action horror.
I would imagine it follows along that in this Tokyo environment.
So more
is
just I'm gonna show you creepy shit. Fight for your life.
Probably.
Which isn't bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. The other big thing of notes at the Bethesda conference, for me at least, other than that they were going over like Doom and more Wolfenstein. They went along all their stuff or whatever. Doom looked awesome.
Doom looked fucking great.
It reminded me I need to finish actually the Doom of last year or the year before.
Me too.
I've started it multiple times. Playthrough. We knock these out faster, man. Shit. If we play through these faster, I am down.
Well, maybe we shouldn't take on big games like Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, well, I agree. Anyway, the last thing to note of the Bethesda conference was they announced their kind of streaming technology. Not necessarily like a service, but
you're missing the best fucking part of that conference.
What was it?
Commander Keen.
Really? You were excited about Commander Keen?
No, dude.
God damn it. That was their first game, so I get...
Steam had on there, I think it's like fucking $3 or $4, the original Commander Keen.
No shit, really? The original?
Yeah,
wow.
so it's on fucking Steam.
I didn't know you could still buy that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
On Steam.
Wow. Wow.
Commander Keen!
Okay, well then the second best thing at this press conference...
Keen!
was they were talking about their streaming technology or whatever. So for Bethesda games, I guess, technically. Or I don't know. I really didn't understand if it was going to be something that developers were going to be able to use, but they were calling it Orion. And they talked about it being able to stream games real fast, this and that, or whatever.
Right, so that's another cloud service streaming thing.
And but
the way they were saying it is that it was the fucking... like the servers, right?
Yeah. Like, I guess it's like more the technology side on their end.
They built it from the ground up, they were saying.
Yeah.
And that it was going to be like way fucking smoother with requiring less internet.
Yeah. And that to me sounded like something for developers, not necessarily for us. I think it's saying, hey, we're doing this for you guys, of course, obviously.
But this is more for selling to the
developers. Yeah, it's not like they're having, hey, this is our service with Bethesda games. Like, they haven't, at least not now, they haven't announced anything like that. But I thought that's where that was going or whatever.
Yeah.
So for me, that was, the things of note for the Bethesda conference.
Yeah, that was cool, definitely. The Orion shit was cool.
Yeah. That was Sunday. Monday came along, and Ubisoft was up. Did you watch Watch Dogs Legion? No? I think maybe you should. Maybe.
I'm not big on Ubisoft, man.
What? So you've what's your understanding of the Watchdog games?
I haven't played any of the Watchdog games, but I wanted to. I heard that the first one kind of bombed.
I think, yeah, it probably didn't do as well as it could have. The second one was good. It was a little goofier, a little sillier, in a sense of like you could do more, but the stakes were like maybe not as high. I don't know. But this one looks pretty interesting, man. Let's see what you think.
You get shot in the butt?
Fuck. We lost Ian. He's gone.
Permadeath.
Nice.
If you recall, Watchdog games are around one protagonist. And now look, it's letting you choose between all these people.
Ooh, old lady hacker.
Yeah, well look, she's pretty cool.
Feed the birds here. Now they're all bloody machines.
Get used to it. In the long march of progress, everything dies eventually.
Eventually, even you, Bagley, I'm sure.
Now, there's my Helen. Speaking of death, you'll never guess what just happened to Ian.
Oh, for God's sake, Bagley, a little respect.
Then let's finish what he started. He was working on a new recruit, a drone expert.
That's promising. What do we know about him?
Albion scanned Jimmy just before Ian was killed. I should be able to predict his next move from that data. Unfortunately, his records are locked up tighter than your compression stockings.
Are they now?
But this case should be handled by the Met.
Albion's even taken over Scotland Yard. Complicates matters. And there's my way in. Hello, darling. Time to go. They'll be on to me.
Tell me that guy can't take out that old lady.
Well, I mean,
Old lady trope needs to die.
she's electrocuting them.
Okay? Medea fucking started this shit and it needs to fucking die.
Medea's thing is not that she's old.
Jimmy's gone to Camden Market.
Get someone over there, Bagley. Top, top.
I don't watch that shit, man.
I mean, I don't either, but I know it's not about her being old.
Ready for some action, Naomi?
But yeah, I guess just to give you the gist of it. So basically, what they're touting with Watch Dogs Legion is that you can play as any character you see in that game.
Because you can recruit them?
You can recruit them to be part of what's called Legion now, to rise up against the government or whatever.
If he's gone in there,
Every single character you see is supposed to be someone you can bring over to Legion and is playable. So they all have their own characteristics. They have, fully voiced dialogue and stuff like that. So that kind of stuff seems super interesting. If you're seeing through this demo how, the guy died, and then you see Helen, the old lady, she's there commenting about him dying or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's cool, like how it's not like they're unaware of like who just did something, right? I thought that kind of detail was pretty important to, putting together like the mythos of like, oh, this is a legion that is working together to, take down the government or whatever. But yeah, I thought Legion looked pretty interesting, man. Part 2 kind of played around with some of that drone stuff before. So they've definitely gone full on this one. The next thing of note was Rob McElhenney of Always Sunny coming on to talk about his fucking TV show called Mythic Quest.
I missed this.
Yeah, do it.
What
I want you to
is
see
Mythic
Mythic
Quest?
Here we go.
Some may say it's just a video
Indeed.
game. When it first debuted, MQ was hailed as a masterpiece. Now played in 20 different countries on 6 continents, it's the biggest massive multiplayer role-playing game of all time. And today, they find themselves on the precipice of their first major expansion, Mythic Quest: Raven's Banquet. And it all falls on the shoulders of one man, creative director Ian Grimm.
When we think about cultural touchstones, we think E.T., Star Wars, Avatar. And yet our industry dwarfs the traditional entertainment business. So when we think about legends, why not think Mythic Quest?
True indeed. And when we think of visionary world-building artists, instead of just Spielberg, Lucas, and Cameron, why not think...
Yeah, right?
I was already sold.
Right?
But the fucking idea of this thing.
Yeah,
Fuck
yeah.
yes.
I'm sorry, I gotta stop. What is this?
I'm down.
It's a commercial for the game.
It's a commercial for you.
It's still going.
Oh my god. This is insane.
I think it's brilliant.
What's it gonna be on?
I believe they were going to be on Apple. I mean, the first thing he mentioned, I guess, because they probably got a deal or whatever, but he definitely mentioned Apple. What was it, Apple Plus or whatever their stuff is? But I could see it coming to other platforms and stuff, especially if you see it on Ubisoft. It's at this point where Ubisoft also announced their streaming stuff, so all of Ubisoft's stuff. Like everything else, right? I think it was $15
All the
a month.
Assassin's Creed stuff, bro.
All of them, bro.
Who the fuck
You can
wants
play
to finish
all of them, bro. DLCs and everything. 15 bucks a month for Ubisoft's library.
It's too much.
Okay, well,
$2.
I
$2.
I agree.
Ubisoft, and then I'll.
All right.
and then
I'm just gonna buy their games. That's what I'll
Nah.
buy the games I want to play.
Not either.
The last thing of note on Ubisoft's press conference was Gods and Monsters. It's made by the Assassin's Creed Odyssey team, and it's the first little reveal of it. I believe it was, I think it was Greek or Rome mythology. I forget, but the idea is supposed to be like Zelda. Ish. I'll let you take a look at it.
When gods need help, they turn to you.
Oh, they kind of cut. It was like a little more, I think, but that's fine. And that was the end of the Ubisoft press conference.
Cool.
We have 2 more to go. So we next go on to the SquareSoft conference. They opened with Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
I was feels the entire time. I was going nuts. I couldn't contain myself. You know what? This, like, seeing this demo, especially them walking you through the gameplay mechanics and you seeing it firsthand, everything felt and looked great, dude. Like, they are really trying with this one.
Sold, bro.
Yeah.
Sold.
Just the action, like, it looks good. It, like, the way it was connecting and stuff, I felt like you can tell this is going to be a good game. There's plenty of times where it feels like it's not there. And the combat here looks awesome. The graphics look great. I mean, right down to the voice actors that they chose for them too. Like, when they were speaking, like, I feel like that's why I heard them in my head or something. You know what I mean? So I think they're taking good care of this baby because they know, man. Because they know. Yeah, I know. I want to see everybody. I'm surprised they showed Sephiroth. I thought maybe they're going to show him for later.
I thought they would wait for a bigger...
Hey, I'm not complaining. You know, they showed off Tifa. They showed off Sephiroth. The gameplay mechanics.
So I heard people were mad about Tifa?
I mean, depending what forums you're looking at. You know
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. But honestly, I think the characters are not going to be 100% exactly the way they look. I mean, it's a fucking remake. They're going to change their outfits. They're going to, you know...
Bigger. I want bigger. just like I remembered.
I think it looked fine from what I saw. So I think they said 2 Blu-ray discs for this.
2 fucking Blu-ray discs.
2 Blu-ray discs.
Holy shit.
And that's because I believe this is probably all going to take place in the whole Midgard. I think this is going to...
Well, they had said that they wanted to expand more on Midgard.
Oh, for sure. And
So,
that's what they're
it's
clearly
not just
doing.
fucking, like, I mean, it's remade. Like, it being, from the ground up, being remade. Like, fuck.
Yeah. But we know these are, like, episodes, right? And I think this first episode technically is going to end when, when the top layer collapses on Midgard, right? And they get out of there on the motorcycle and everything.
Oh, the motorcycle.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, they showed the sequence or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think that's where this episode is going to end. I think they'll leave the other parts for, and that's, you think about it, like this little section of the game was, well, like an hour and a half maybe of the original. Yeah. Maybe less.
Probably, yeah.
And here it's taken up, 2 Blu-ray discs worth of time and stuff. So, I guess my initial worry is just like, oh, this is going to bleed into obviously PS5 territory. Am I going to have to own this game on PS4 and then PS5 or
Wait, you're
what?
saying that the 2 Blu-ray discs is not the entire Final Fantasy game?
Yeah, it's not.
That's confirmed?
Yes.
Where?
They're calling this episode 1.
NANI?!
I'm saying they're probably going to end it when, Midgard falls. I think that's where this game ends. Maybe it's longer. I don't know. But this is episode 1, and the only thing they've been showing is Midgard.
Being sold an incomplete game.
That's the thing, right? Is that they're stuffing it with more. Like they're gonna give you more to do. This episode 1 is not the entire game. They've said that since a long time ago. I guess you didn't get the memo.
No.
How do you feel about it now that you just found out?
I do not like it.
Yeah, it's...
So I'm assuming the first game coming out might be even more than $60 because it's 2 fucking discs.
Here's what they said. They said that by today's standards, there's no way they can remake that game without doing what they have to do with it to up-res the graphics, to do everything properly. There's no way they could do that all in one disc. Final Fantasy is too long.
I know
it's too big.
Not one disc.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is 2 discs, and that's not even the whole fucking game.
Mm-hmm. And I think
that doesn't sound right.
Well, I think also think about it. Like, I bet you all the scenes are voiced now. I don't think you're reading dialogue anymore. I think that everyone's speaking every single time now. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So just think of like how much memory dialogue alone is going to be taking up. With
they're going to take my money, but that doesn't mean I have to be happy about it.
I'm going to give them all my money, dude, because they announced like a $350 version that comes with Cloud, the Play Arts figure. I'm gonna reserve that. I'm gonna get that fucking Cloud. I need him in my life. I'm gonna get it. Bunch of also digital goodies and all that or whatever, but I am getting that fucking box set. So I've known this for a while. Maybe it's just because you just this brand new information.
It's weird that they would do it like that, but I guess if they I don't care, right? We're getting more content. That's good.
Yeah, that's what it is. They're beefing up everything, right? Even the characters.
It just makes me sad that I'm gonna have to wait even longer to finish it.
Yeah, you're not gonna play the entire thing.
That's what makes
by
me
next
sad.
year, because they announced March 3rd, I believe, of 2020 was when that was going to be coming out. So in less than a year, we will be able to play that game. So we need to hurry up and finish playthroughs and get to that one.
Yeah, figure out how to get through that Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, we'll do it quick. Next, which I thought was pretty interesting to note, was they're doing a Final Fantasy VIII remastered version. They've been remastering 9 and 10 and a bunch of the older ones, obviously before that. But this is the first time they've remastered 8. From what I was told, was the reason it was hard to remaster 8 was because a lot of the source files were like lost. So there was no way to like actually remaster it or something like that. And it's taken them a long time to do something like this. Like, it was a big chore. I'm going to read into it more because that I was definitely intrigued by the idea that the original file CDs were like gone or something like that. But that's why it's taken them this long. So the fact that they're finally up-resing a little bit and kind of updating Final Fantasy VIII a little bit, I think is pretty cool because they're finally bringing that back out.
8 was the one with Vivi?
No, that was 9.
Was Squall?
8 was Squall. / Leon. I don't know what's up with that. We'll find out more about that.
Stupidest fucking
Yeah. Last thing of note for the Square Enix conference was the Avengers stuff that they were doing.
Didn't they also show Phantasy Star Online?
Yes. But, I mean, I don't know. I was not a big PSO fan. I mean, did you ever...
No, but it looked interesting as fuck.
I mean, that game's been out for a long time in
like
Japan.
Like,
yeah, they're going to localize it for here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically console MMO now. Is what they're doing.
It looked fucking cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's very like space and dinosaurs and everything, right? It's like everything. Put everything in it. But I'm not a fan of Phantasy Star, so I was like, oh, this looks cool, but I mean, me personally, I'm not tied to it, so that's the only reason why I skipped over it.
I think I might check it out.
Cool. I'm glad you mentioned it, man. Avengers was the last thing they showed. And Avengers looked, I mean, people complain that there wasn't enough gameplay.
I only saw the meme.
Or there was, what was the meme?
It's like, hey, you guys aren't the Avengers. And it's like that where they're all coming out.
Oh, yeah.
All crappy.
I thought it was pretty cool that Nolan North and Troy Baker were in this. So I was like, they're in something together again. That's great. But I'm surprised they didn't try to get something closer with the actual Avengers, right? Like in the MCU, because I mean, immediately, even with like Peter Parker, man, when he had a different voice for the Spider-Man game that came out recently, and even Spider-Verse, like I don't know, I want to hear like a kid voice coming out of him all the time now. People complain that they didn't show a lot of like actual gameplay, that there was a lot of smoke and mirrors happening. So people were confused as to what exactly it was. Clearly, it's an action game, multiplayer probably. But yeah, there was a little talk about them maybe not showing as much as they should have.
Yeah, I'm always very skeptical when they don't show gameplay for stuff.
Yeah, and also it's weird that there's a 5-year gap, like the same way there was in MCU. It's like, what's happening?
Is all this canon?
I'm gonna say probably not. Probably not. May 2020.
For beta access. Yeah, it's weird. I can't really tell what the fuck that is.
Yeah. Then we move on to the Nintendo press conference. Yeah, Nintendo. The Switch now has The Witcher on it. It's the Switcher.
Those graphics, man.
Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna look on there.
I assume just the way they showed it, just really low rendered. Which, okay, but you got the fucking Witcher 3 on the Switch.
Portable.
So
I think that counts for something.
Yeah, man. I mean, that kind of makes up for it there, I feel.
Yeah.
Fuck, I need a Switch.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of good games on the Switch, bro. A couple of quick ones also. Luigi's Mansion 3. Gooigi.
I thought it was strange that when they were showing the multiplayer stuff for the Luigi's Mansion, that they used just different colored Luigis instead of using Peach Mario and like all the other ones.
Yeah.
Because it showed them like I guess in the story mode.
Yeah.
But in the multiplayer, everyone's just using Luigi and their own Gooigi.
Yeah. Well, maybe because the Guigi can do certain things that I guess those characters maybe can't. Like they're showing them walking through spikes.
Yeah, but like if you could do a Gooigi version of them.
Yeah. Oh, true. But then you'd have to give them all names.
Yeah, Mario.
Pooigi.
Why Pooh?
Because it's Peach. It's Gooigi. Oh wait.
Goopeachy.
Peach. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I like Pooigi better.
Pooigi. the brown Gooigi.
What do you call Gooey Mario? Gooario?
Gooario.
Gooario?
Gooario.
I don't know. Smash Bros. Smash Bros. Got Banjo-Kazooie in that now.
Yeah. And
as well as a Dragon Quest, the main protagonist dude, the hero they called him. The hero comes to fight.
Man, we never played Dragon Quest, right?
No, I kind of wanted to though. 11 looks pretty interesting actually.
I played a little bit of Fire Emblem, but not Dragon Quest.
Yeah, Dragon Quest 11 I think is the one where this guy's from, Elusive Age. They're also coming out with a Switch version also. It looks really good. It looks like the way you liked the look of the what is it, Tales of Arise.
Yeah.
This one also kind of I had the same feels like, dude, this looks good. This looks really good. So I don't know. Maybe I'll get around to playing it, especially because it's coming out on the Switch. Another quick fire one. A new Contra was shown, as well as them releasing a Contra collection for the Switch. This to me doesn't look super great, but it was just noteworthy. It kind of looks like shit, man. It's just this
fucking Contra
top-down 3D, just shitty looking. It looks bad, dude. This looks like it's not gonna be that great.
When they first showed this, I didn't know it was Contra.
Yeah, right.
And then
I would have thought.
What gave it away was fucking where they're like the alien world, alien wars or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, isn't that what fucking they called the war for Contra, where it's like super cheesy, just real the alien war.
Yeah, that's what 3 was, now, right, or something like that.
Yeah.
Contra Rogue Core. September 24th, bro. That's this year. I don't know. It looks fucking terrible. That looks so bad.
But we get all the other Contras on the Switch. Yay!
Yeah, that was cool. That's a collection I would maybe be into buying. And last, but certainly not the least, they fucking announced Breath of the Wild sequel. Which kind of gives a little bit like Majora's Mask vibes because of the horror kind of element to it, a little bit.
Yeah,
the
right?
kind of scary shit going on.
Sperm.
You know what? Damn it.
Green sperm.
I did not expect them to, but it's like, why wouldn't they, right? But I didn't expect them to do a sequel to Breath of the Wild, but fuck, I'm like, yeah, why wouldn't they? Like, they already have the world, the engine.
I feel like they are starting to try to flesh out the Zelda lore more and more now that, people were like, oh, I love Zelda.
Yeah.
I love Zelda too. And, but no one really knows what the fuck Zelda's about because the lore is insanely
it's all over the place.
Fucking yeah. So I feel like now with all these future games, that's fucking cool. I totally thought vampires. That they're going to be expanding more on like the timelines, right? Mm-hmm. So they're still doing the 3 major timelines.
I'm assuming so, yeah.
Right.
That's the official thing from them.
So this is the Breath of the Wild timeline.
Yeah.
Which was the fuck, man, my link lore is
I don't even, I'm not even gonna try to break my head trying to figure that shit out.
I had gone through it, but fuck, I can't remember exactly all the lore. But I remember there was 3.
And they showed gameplay also for that other Zelda, the remake of Link's Awakening.
Looked fucking awesome. I was like, dude, yes. Give me more fucking of this, dude.
Yeah,
Give
man.
me more of this.
Yes. I think this definitely be a year, man, where you want to get the Switch. There's so much like for it coming out. Super Mario Maker 2, right? Smash Bros is out. Mario games are out, right? Like this.
You know, I'm really disappointed in Nintendo for not releasing any fucking Metroid shit.
Yeah, well, I think there's something in the works. They just never said anything.
They haven't said anything.
Yeah, they haven't said anything.
Anything. Well, no, but they tease out fucking 6 Zeldas and shit every fucking conference they can because they know fucking little motherfuckers are. Yeah, I fucking loved it. Yeah. I don't know, man. I feel like Zelda's super over fucking hyped, bro. The first Zelda games were great.
Yeah, they're good.
You know, and some
Ocarina of Time was like timeless. It's a classic.
I just feel like it's overhyped. It's good, but not the amount that it's fucking been given.
I don't know, man. I think you should.
I feel like Metroid should be getting more attention than fucking Zelda. Metroid was a better game.
I don't know. I liked both equally. I think.
You're a piece of shit.
And that was the conference, man. That was it. That was all of the conferences, actually, not just the one. But I think overall, I mean, E3 is a little bit different this year. I did miss Sony not being there.
Yeah, for sure.
But Microsoft swinging hard, man.
Fucking great.
Swinging hard. And, well, fuck, Square Enix, too, really. I mean, that very super long, informative, like, demo to Final Fantasy VII I'm sold, dude. They can put whatever the hell they want on those discs. I'm gonna pay the $300 and some, bro, for it because I want it that bad.
You know what else they mentioned was that whole ESO stuff.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. But I'm not an ESO player.
I am after that day.
Yeah, you know what I am? I'm a Fallout 76 player now. Nice. And they have, there's a lot of there's a lot of cool free to play days for a lot of this stuff. Like, hey, it's free to play now, free to play for a while. So
they had said Fallout was free.
Yeah,
for like
Fallout was free till the 17th or whatever.
Come try out all our free stuff. We're so sorry.
Yeah, $17, bro. You can't go wrong. It's free. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good deal.
Pretty good.
But anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for us on this this special episode covering E3 2019. It's been pretty great. Thanks for checking in. We'll we'll keep pumping out some more stuff and stay tuned. We'll see you guys later. Bye. Bye. You know who's also a piece of shit? No, I couldn't think about it.
Chris,
Yeah, he is.